Hey there, and welcome back to part 2 of our MMAudio installation, So in our last one, we went ahead and did the standalone app. Very cool. Get that running, hitting it up. Today we're going to work on the ComfyUI installation of it. So you can actually be throwing these things into your nodes, doing some powerful stuff. Very cool. So like here, again, we got a picture of a cat playing a guitar, your very normal kind of everyday sort of thing that you would see. But then we throw it into the machine and all of a sudden it becomes crazy. Okay, that's really good. So as you can see, it's really following the movements of the cat's fingers and all that stuff. A lot of these a lot of these audio generation things I have not found to be particularly good. The open source ones, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it. It makes some noise. This is incredibly well done. Okay, it's good quality. It's got accurate sounds, and it really picks up the movements and puts accurate stuff to it. So again, if you have just picture of like someone sitting there and the wind kind of going, you're not going to get a lot. But when you have movement, like a hand hitting the face or doors opening and closing, sticks tapping on each other, it's going to really pick that stuff up. And it does pretty decent with lip syncing type stuff too, when it puts kind of made up words, but whatever to it. It's really an incredible app. And with the ComfyUI nodes, you can throw this into your workflow. So like you can be working with your LTX, chuck this bad boy in there, and kind of have everything flow into each other. So very cool. We're going to just go over how to install this. I'm going to let you do all the awesome stuff with it because that's what you do so well. I'm good at helping you to get your stuff installed. You're good at doing and making excellent things with that big brain self of yours. So we're going to move on and do that. But first, I do want to thank you for liking the channel, subscribing, all that, telling the family about it, calling up your old girlfriend and being like, I was thinking about you. And I just wanted to let you know about AI and get going fast. And anyway, bye, that kind of thing. So I appreciate you doing that. That's really thoughtful of you, and it certainly does help. In the meanwhile, we're just going to move on with this. If you do appreciate it, check out the Get Going Fast page. You can get there at getgoingfast.pro. Think about joining as a member. You can always send me thank you gifts as well here on YouTube with one of them stickers. It all helps because I do this full time, and I'm honestly pretty happy to do it here for you. So you guys are the better part of this whole thing. Anyway, we're going to move on, and with that, let's get to the yo. All right, so to get going, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to our browser, and what we need to do is we need to get over to, let's close some of this out. We need to get over to this page here, this ComfyUI MMAudio. So what we're going to do is we're going to go do a Google search for MMAudio, and we just going to type in ComfyUI. Okay, it's going to bring up this one from ComfyUI. I don't know who this guy is or gal is or whoever, but obviously awesome, always putting out the good stuff. So we're going to click on this one. Click, just like that, okay? Now she pops up, and here we go, our ComfyUI nodes to use MMAudio. Now, we're going to just scroll down here. You can see kind of that they've got a workflow going, so we're going to have to find a workflow here as well to use when we're done. But let's just look through the instructions. So remember, we have two types of ComfyUI installations. We have hold on, something happened there. We have our manual installations and we have our portable installations. And the difference has to do with how we update our dependencies. So like in our manual installation, we're putting a Vim folder directly in our ComfyUI thing. We just activate it. It's real easy. We go in there and we update our dependencies. When we're using the portable version, we got to go into another folder that's called Python Embedded. We use the provided Python that comes with it, and then we update through that way. It's not so much more difficult as it's just a little bit more confusing, sometimes maybe not straightforward. So we're going to go through both of those. Okay, I always recommend you do a manual installation. Okay, again, my kind of take on the whole thing is that you should be learning how to do this stuff. Build your own lightsaber, okay. So that's kind of doing your own manual thing. And again, if you're having a difficult time with getting it going, you can always head over to getgoingfast.pro, do a search for manual, and here's a free manual installation that I have given you that you can install it. Just easy. Just download it, click it, it'll get your manual installation. Most of the stuff that I'm working on with you guys has to do with the manual installation. So it's just kind of a good thing to get going anyways. But let's pop on back over to here. And so it's going to tell us what to do. So we're going to have to clone this into our custom nodes. I'll show you what that's all about. We got to install our dependencies. That's kind of what we was just talking about. And notice it says, or if you use the portable install, run this in the ComfyUI Windows portable folder. That's what I was talking about, the two different ways of handling your virtual environments. Okay, and then we're going to have to download some models. Okay, and so we'll have some decisions. Really not that difficult. There is something that's missing from this that I will walk you through on how to do that. I don't know why he missed it, or maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but there's something I'm going to walk you through that's not on here, so be sure to hang around for that. Okay, so what we're going to have to do, it says clone this repo into the custom nodes folder. So first thing we do is we just go up here to the top and we grab the address. Let me move this over here so you can see it better. Okay, so we go up here, grab the folder. Now I'm just going to hit Control X because that's going to cut it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then pop over to my File Explorer. Look how big that is. Okay, let's get that out. I'll probably give you a heart attack there. Good Lord. All right, so we're going to do our manual installation. You can see I've got two installations to go, my normal Comfy and my Comfy, my Comfy P, my Comfy Portable. So we'll do the manual one. I'm going to click here. And in here you can see I've got my installer. So again, you can just go to the Get Going Fast page. If you don't want to do any of this, you can extract it. All you got to do is click this. It's going to get everything going for you, okay? It'll download all your models, do everything else. But here's what we would do if we're doing it manually. We're going to click on ComfyUI like that, okay? And then we come into this folder. And this is our main folder, our main ComfyUI. Regardless if you're using portable or if you're using the manual, you will have the same folder here. So we click into there. Now what we're going to do is we see this one is called Custom Nodes. So Custom Nodes is where we add things like MMAudio, or we add our manager, or the extra stuff we want to do. We have to install it into here. Now you're going to notice mine's already installed, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. So what you do is go up to the top, okay, and we're just going to type the word get, and then we're going to type clone. So Git is an app that pulls our stuff down from the repository, like that. Clone is, we're saying that's what we want it to do. So we're saying, hey, Git, clone, and then we're telling it this place here. So you press this, it will come down, and it will then create this folder here, Comfy MMAudio, okay? Now, regardless if you're using the Python embedded or you're using the manual, you're going to do the same thing here. Now, let's pop over to our browsers and see what it says to do next. So next it's going to say that we need to install the requirements. So you can see install dependencies, pip install -r requirements.txt. Now this is for the manual. So this is what we have to do to, dang it, hold on a second. This is, where did I go? This is where we got to go to install it. So what we're going to notice is we're in our custom nodes folder, okay? But we're going to need to go into MMAudio, okay? And we're going to need to install this requirements. But we still have to activate our virtual environment. And our virtual environment is all the way back here in our ComfyUI folder under Vim. See, there's Vim, scripts, activate. Okay, whoops. I clicked it. I didn't mean to click it. But, oh, good Lord. I'm a click crazy at the moment. Okay, so we'll get back to our custom nodes. MMAudio. Now we're going to need to install this, but we're also going to have to activate our virtual environment. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to right click on here, and I'm going to click on just somewhere in a blank area, and I'm going to say open in terminal. That's going to open up this, and you'll notice that we are in the folder that we clicked in. So we were over here in the File Explorer. We just right clicked on a empty spot and clicked open in terminal, and then it popped up this. Okay, so this is where our requirements.txt is. If we type dir, which stands for directory, you'll see that here's our requirements.txt right there. But we got to get, see this is the folder in, we got to get all the way back here to activate our virtual environment. But then we got to get back over to here, so we could just kind of exit out and then exit back in. But that's a lot of typing. So here I'm going to show you a trick. What we're going to do, we're going to just call our virtual environment like we normally would. You know, we could normally go call venv scripts activate. But what we're going to do is we're going to go add some other stuff. We're going to go call ... which means go back one folder. So it says call from this folder, but we go, oh, hey, we need to get further back. So I'm going to put a /. It's a forward. You can tell it's a / because the top of it's leaning to the right. Then I'm going to put another ... and then I'm going to put another /. So what this is saying is go back one directory, okay, to here, then go back another directory to here, and then use this folder and then this folder and that. So this is a little fast way that we can activate it. So look at that. It hit it. Okay. Hey, cool, right? Now we can go in here and we can type pip install -r requirements.txt. So pip is our Python package installer. Okay. Install is what we're telling it to do. We're going, hey, pip, install. And then we're saying we're saying, by the way, do it from a file. That's what that R is, okay? So you're going, hey, pip, install from a file. The file's name is requirements.txt. So that's what we're telling it to do. So we're going to hit enter, and then it goes through there and it's going to install. Now mine went fast because I already installed it, okay? Yours will take just a minute. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a little secret here that it messes up with. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to type pip install, and we're going to type accelerate, okay? Just do this because it's missing. All right, now we have done this, so let's go back to what our browser says, okay? So now we go back to the browser, and you're going to see that it has over here, if I could find my browser again. Okay, hold on just a second. All right, and we're going to see that the next thing we need to do is load some models, okay? So I guess, well, actually, before we move on, I guess let me show you how to do this in the Python, in the portable version. So before we move on, let's look at this. It says that if you use the portable install, run this in the ComfyUI Windows portable folder. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. We're going to copy all of this. Now, if you're running the manual and you did what we just did, you don't need to do this. So, but with this, let's go like this. We're going to go back over to our File Explorer. Now, I'm going to click out of the Comfy installation that we've been working with, and I'm going to go over here to this one which says Comfy P. Now, if you'll notice when we go into Comfy P, we've got a folder that's called ComfyUI Windows Portable. Click into it, and then here, this looks familiar, doesn't it? ComfyUI. But you can tell you got the portable version because you got this one that says Python embedded. So what we're gonna do here is I'm actually going to close out the last command prompt window we was using. And I'm going to do the same thing we did. I'm going to right click and go open in terminal. We're going to click on over to our command prompt, and now notice it brings us up to the folder that we're in. Okay, if I type dir, if I type dir, you're going to see there's ComfyUI, and here's Python embedded. So in the Python embedded folder is your virtual environment. So we don't actually have to activate the virtual environment because it's all kind of embedded in there. We just have to use the correct pip to do it, okay? So like we used the pip install that was based on our system. This one we're going to use the one that's in here. So we're going to hit Control V, And notice what it does. It's calling it, saying, go into this folder, this Python embedded folder, and look for the Python that's in there. Now, normally, the Python we would use, if we just typed Python, it would use the one on our system. But because there's one actually in this folder, it's going to use that one. And then we're going to go -m, which means run as a module this application pip. So it's like you got an app running this other little app, okay? But it's using its own pip, okay? We talked about this before, so it's kind of like its own Quado, okay? So you got the Python embedded is the dude, and it's got its own little pip. So it's going to use its own, and then it's going to install like we did before, install -r, and then it's already set up the folder structures for it. So it's going to go into the ComfyUI folder, then into the custom nodes folder, then into the ComfyUI MMAudio folder, and then it's going to run requirements. Okay, but because we're doing it on here, it's going to put it all in the correct place. Okay, so we're just going to hit enter. So you can see what I mean by it's just a little bit more confusing. It's not that difficult, it's just a little bit more confusing. So same thing, it just goes ahead and installs, and now you're done. Okay, you're ready to go. So what we'll do now is we're going to go back to our File Explorer, and let's just go back to where we were. The rest of this is going to happen the same way, regardless if we're on the portable or the manual. So now we have loaded the requirements. So now we need to get these models, and it's going to put it in a folder called ComfyUI models, and then it wants us to create a folder called MMAudio. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's just highlight. We can double click on that, and it's going to highlight it. Let's just press Control C. Then let's go back to our File Explorer, and we're going to go into the models folder here. So we started out here. Here's our ComfyUI folder. Click into that. We click into models, and then now I've already got one created. But what you would do is just right click. Oh, why is this so big? Hold on a second. You would just right click, and then you would click add new folder, and then you would type MMAudio. Okay, so it looks something like yeah, I don't want to do that. So basically you just right click, choose new folder, and then call it MMAudio, and inside of here we're going to end up putting our folders, okay, or our models. So you get it all ready. We click back to our browser, and then the browser says what we need to do is we need to get our files from our safe tensors here. And then it says it's got this other one that it's going to download, but it says it's auto downloaded. If you look down here, it's going to auto download. So we don't need to worry about this. This is just informational. But we do need these. So let's right click on this and say open link in new tab, and it's going to pop up here. Now notice there's two of all these things. You got two apples, two of these MMAudio large, two of the Synchroformer, two of these. So this is different sizes. So if this app should be able to run down to 6 gigabytes. If you got lower gigabytes VRAM, you want to go through FP16. If you got a ton of VRAM, go with your FP32. So again, this all just has to do with quant sizes or precision. They're precision points. So again, if you have a large number with a bunch of decimals, you can cut off some of those decimals and still have a pretty darn precise number, but not as precise as if you had the 4 extra digits. And this is essentially what this is doing. Okay, so you can click whatever you want, but all you need is one of these. So what you do is you just click here where it says download file, okay, and then it's going to bring up a thing that asks you where you want to save it to, and that is going to look like this. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Then what we got to do is just find where you put all this stuff. So you got ComfyUI, you go into your ComfyUI folder, go to your models, and then here's your MMAudio folder, okay? So you just click on that. You can see I've already got it downloaded, but then you just click save, okay? And it's going to go ahead and save that into there. Then you do the same thing with these other ones. You just grab, all you need is one of them. So if you're grabbing the FP16s, just grab that. You click on the download, okay? It's going to bring this back up, same thing. Make sure you're in the right place. Models, MMAudio, and then you click save. Okay, you can see these are about 3, 4. So this is about 2, 4. This is about 5 gigabytes total. Okay, of space. So so do that again. Now click it for the sync formers, and then you'll do the same thing for the VAE. If you want the 32s, do it the other way. So you'll notice the sizes are different. This one's about 4 gigabytes. This one's about 2, so it's double the size, but also means double the precision. So you can really play around with it depending on what you're able to get away with. If you try the bigger ones, they don't work, then just download it to the other ones. Okay, so you get that going. Okay, get everything downloaded, and then guess what? You're ready to run this thing. So what we do is we pop on over to our File Explorer. Okay, we go back to wherever our Comfy stuff is, and then all we got to do is click on our Run Comfy. So we double click that. Okay, it's going to load, and then it's going to pop up to, well, it's going to pop up to here, but you ain't going to have the workflow. Yes, you'll have whatever workflow. So we still got to find a workflow. So actually, before we move on, let's do this. Let's type ComfyUI workflow download. No, not workflow. We'll go ComfyUI MMAudio workflow. Okay. Now, we can scroll around and you can just kind of find one here. Now, this is where we were, and it doesn't actually show us a workflow here. So we got to find one here. Let's type MMAudio ComfyUI workflow. Let's try it again. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Open art. So MMAudio video to sound, audio visual workflow. So we click there. Going to bring us up here. This guy's got a workflow. So we can just click download on this, okay? And then save it to a folder. So, you click your download, does the same thing as before, pops up this. What I tend to do with my stuff is I create a folder called workflows. And then in there, you create a folder called MMAudio, and then you can save it, okay? So you save it into that. Now, when we go back over to here, okay, back over to our thing, what you do is you click workflow, then you click open, scroll to where you saved it, open it, and then it's going to pop up this, but it won't have the pictures of the cats on there, okay? But you'll have your stuff here. So, like, here's the swan. Now, this ain't going to make a lot of noise because it's a swan, but you'll see up here, you choose video to upload. You can play around with all this, your rates, blah, 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 blah. Up here's where your models are going to be. If it's not showing, if you click Q and if something doesn't work, just click on this and you'll see a list of the different stuff that's in there, okay? So I've got a bunch of models because of different stuff. But anyway, you'll be able to pick the one you want. Now over here you got your prompt. So I'm going to type here into my prompt. I'm going to type a swan. Now I want to get some noise, so I'm going to say splashing. But I'll say a swan splashes through the water as it softly bleats to its young. So whatever. So you put your prompt in there, okay? Now you can put your negative prompt. Maybe we'll just put music. I don't want music, okay? And then we just go ahead. I can scroll back. We hit Q, okay? And it's going to run through all this. If there's a problem, it'll catch it and it'll highlight where the problem is. Notice how fast this is going. And then it's going to pop up over to here, okay? So there you go. Now, obviously, this isn't a very exciting video. Again, something like this scary one that we did would probably work better. We already had that. Let's try this. Let's click choose upload, and let's grab that scary guy again. And let's just say a ghoul maniacally laughing. To ominous. Let's put some stuff in here. Laughs while a door creaks in the background. I don't know if that's going to do that, but let's try it. Okay, so same thing. Now, again, there's a lot of drastic movement, and so it's going to pick that up a lot better, because what this is doing is it's actually breaking every movement of this down and sending it into the AI and comparing it to a sound. So really cool stuff. Let's see. That's so creepy. Okay, but anyway, so there you have it, okay? And now these are all nodes, okay? So you can click on add. So if you're working with other workflows, you can add nodes, and you can see your MMAudio down here. And so same thing, you add your loaders, your samplers, all this stuff. Basically, you could just recreate this. So let's say that I had, let's get rid of this creepy looking dude so we don't have to stare at him. Here's our pirate with a lisp. So let's do it. A pirate with a bad lisp. All right, so at any rate, you'll notice these things. It says MMAudio, MMAudio. So those are the ones that come with it. You notice this one says like load video. That's just a generic thing. Same thing with your video info, your video combine. All that is generic. Let's see. So it didn't catch the list, but it caught the ocean in the background. Anyway, so let's say you were running your LTX workflow. Okay, well, you could add these in here, okay, and load on into them, load through these. You could figure out how to do that so that it just goes from one to the next, add sounds, and then it's out, okay? So very cool. And that's everything. Now, if you do load this up and it's got problems, what you can do is click to your manager, okay? And then you click on your custom nodes manager here, whatever. See if it's got any, you can always type in MMAudio. And if it's not installing, for some reason, it'll say try again. You know, that tells you might have missed something, but you can always click this install missing custom nodes too and see if anything that was supposed to install didn't install. But the way that we ran this should be running this very clear. You got the workflow over there from that other site. We found the KeyJai stuff over there, and it went ahead and installed it. Now, I do want to show you really quick before we go, if you do decide to get the installer from the Get Going Fast, which just gets you going fast, you'll get a zip file like this. All you do is extract it. It's going to have this manual install bat in there, okay? And it's going to download your workflow for you. So it's actually going to extract your workflow. When you click this, okay, this is what's going to happen. Is it's going to run this, and it's going to give you a choice if you want to download the FP16 or the 32, okay? And it also gives you the choice if you want to install them both, so if you want to play around with one or the other. So this is the easiest way to do it. Literally just click this. It's going to take care of everything, and you are off to the races. If in the future you want to delete this stuff, all you got to do is go to ComfyUI, go to your custom nodes, and delete the folder. Then you would go to your ComfyUI, click on your models, and you would click your MMAudio and just delete them out of there, okay? Easy peasy, extra squeezy. And there you have it. You have MMAudio, which is great. It's my new favorite app. You know, I don't know how long it'll be my favorite app, but right now it's my favorite app. It's going to be my favorite app for the next several days because I think it's very cool, but it's certainly made it into my workflow, okay? It's one of these that it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be using this, okay? So I might be focusing on other stuff, but it has made its way into being a consistent part of my workflow, and it's probably going to make its way into being a consistent part of yours too. So do share what you've been working on. Would love to see it. Hit us up on the Discord and share what you got going. Would love to see your Safe for Work stuff. Listen, we started a new subreddit over on Reddit. It's called Get Going Fast, if you can believe that. Who'd have thunk it? But it's subreddit over there. Come share it. You know, Reddit is one of these places. It's kind of like Star Wars Cantina. It's like a hive of villainy and scum. Our little Get Going Fast place is good. Come over there. We're not going to make you feel stupid. That's one of the problems with Reddit. You go post there, and people are like, you know, they're like, thumb down. And you're like, oh my God, I worked so hard on that. We ain't going to do that to you. So come over, hang out with us, share what you got. Would love to see it. Hang out with us on the Discord. You got questions, hit me up. I'm around. You can find me on Hugging Phase. You can find me on Reddit, Discord, YouTube. Find me over on Instagram. You can find us on the Cogni Build Get Going Fast page. We're around. Happy to connect with you. In the meanwhile, enjoy this app. We will catch up with you in the next few days as the next cool thing comes around. And if you got any questions, hey, hit it up, yo.